Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Firestar Plays Kingdom Hearts. This one is going to be about RECoded. Now, here's the thing about RECoded. It is essentially Kingdom Hearts 1. But the only real difference here is that you essentially Mickey, Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy come together because Jiminy is saying that everything in his first journal has gone missing, all except for a new mysterious phrase that's appeared in there. So with the help of Chip and Dale, they examine Jiminy's journal using a computer, converting what's written in it into data. When they convert it into data, they find that the information that Jiminy had wrote is still there somewhere. It's just trapped in the inner memories of the journal. You know, the feeling and heart he poured into it, making it, and the connection between the book and the person it was about, Sora, and all the people who he met and affected along his journey. It's very complicated stuff, but
Goodbye.
So, sorry about that. So, they grab the data version of Sora that exists inside the journal, and they convert him into, or they kind of pluck him from the journal and give him a digitalized Keyblade to fight against the corruption in the journal and try and restore the data in it. In doing so, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy end up getting pulled into the journal by the journal itself, which has manifested a kind of guardian for all of its data, which is fashioned after Riku. And so, Riku essentially, or Data Riku, pulls Mickey, Donald, and Goofy from the real world of Kingdom Hearts into the journal version of Kingdom Hearts, where they help guide Sora through these different worlds, destroying the bugs that have appeared in the journal. And everything seems to be going fine until Sora has already cleared out Destiny Island. He's cleared out Traverse Town. He has been to Wonderland. But it's in the Olympic Coliseum that he actually finds an anomaly. Pete from the real world is there for some reason. He has found his way into the journal itself. And so Sora sets out after him, and it leads him to Agrabah. Well, Data Sora goes after Pete, and it lands him in Agrabah. And it is here that he has to help clear more bugs and defeat Jafar, who has been given a data replica of Genie's lamp, which grants wishes even though it doesn't have a genie in it. But Data Jafar becomes the genie of the data lamp, the replica data lamp. Like I said, this one's very complicated. It's got a lot of stuff going on, and not a lot of it seems really all that important, to be honest. But it's after he defeats Jafar, Data Sora chases after Pete and runs into a trap with Pete and Maleficent. That's when Mickey and Riku show up to try and... Mickey and Data Riku show up to help Data Sora. Maleficent is able to destroy the data keyblade that Sora has, because it is just a series of numbers and data. It doesn't have any substance to it. So Pete and Maleficent kidnap Riku because he is the complete journal and the thing that controls all these worlds, because he is all of its memories and yada yada yada. More complicated stuff. So they believe controlling him will allow them to control the rest of the datascape, which is what they're calling the Kingdom Hearts world within the journal, within the Kingdom Hearts world. It's just the datascape, to try and simplify what it is.
Goodbye.
And so, Sora decides to try and go after Pete and Maleficent to save Data Riku. Well, Data Sora. However, he can no longer use his Data Keyblade because Maleficent has destroyed it. So Mickey tells Sora to remain behind with Donald and Goofy in the Data Disney Castle, and Mickey will go save Data Riku from the real Pete and Maleficent. So essentially how Pete got there was he was spying on Mickey, Donald, and Goofy when they got pulled into the datascape. So Pete got pulled into the datascape because he just happened to be close enough to the event that pulled them in. And then somehow he was able to contact Maleficent on the outside world. They didn't quite explain how that happened. And Maleficent used her magic to enter the datascape, aka Jiminy's journal. And so then they're able to fill bugs with the dark, like the corruption, which they refer to as bugs on there. They're like Data version of Heartless, essentially. And they, so they managed to turn Data Riku into Darkness Data Riku by shoving so many bugs in him that they're able to kind of puppet control him. And he begs Data Sora to destroy him when Data Sora shows up. Because despite not having a Keyblade, he decides to go ahead and go to Hollow Bastion, well, Data Hollow Bastion, to save Data Riku. Even though he doesn't. And it's when Donald and Goofy sacrifice themselves to save Data Sora, and they're being crushed by some computer corruption that Pete has somehow gained control of via the darkness. That, knowing the friendship exists between those two and him, even though they're real and he's just data, it triggers something in Data Sora and he's able to conjure a physical, actual Keyblade. Or it's a data Keyblade, but it has substance behind it because there's heart. His heart and emotions are actually now in this Keyblade. They didn't quite explain how that worked either. But, using that, he's able to free Goofy and Donald. But Pete uses the Darkness Data Riku, or rather, Data Darkness Riku, to fight Data Sora. And Data Sora manages to knock out Data Darkness Riku. I don't know what order to put those in. It's very complicated stuff that's going on in RECoded. But anyway, Sora KOs the Riku, the Data Riku, and he notices that Riku is bugged, but he finds a way to go inside of Riku. I know how this sounds. There's a lot of double entendre going on here that go on in this about Riku and Sora, Data Riku and Data Sora. But anyway, it's funny. Moving on. So Donald, Goofy, and Mickey stay behind to watch after Data Riku, while Data Sora jumps into Data Riku's mind, and Data Riku asks Data Sora to leave because there's enough time for him to escape, but he's going to throw himself deeper into the darkness to get rid of not only himself, but all the viruses and bugs, and the corruption in the data. And so Data Sora's like, oh great, so there's just enough time to save you. So Data Sora leaps deeper into Data Riku's memories and destroys the corruption, freeing Data Riku from the corruption and the bugs. So everything's great. Everything's back to normal. Great. So Donald, Goofy, and Mickey leave to return to the real world, and when they do, Data Riku explains to Data Sora that now that all the bugs have been cleared out and the corruption has been finished, the journal should return back to normal, and they should be returned to their default states, which means they'll not remember any of the adventures that they went on with the real world Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. That they would just be, once again, replicas stuck in the same loop of what has happened to the real Sora. But, as things seem to have been finished, though, the journal's data starts saying it's going to purge itself and destroy everything, because there is still a major bug in the system. You know, they were sure they had destroyed them all. Apparently what had happened was Sora's Heartless had crept into the deepest parts of the journal and was, again, this gets really complicated because the Data Heartless are heartless, but they don't have hearts, and they don't have an actual body to return to. Those hearts kind of, which actually is like the mind of the Heartless at this point, as they refer to it as, just kind of lingers there in the between the data. And so Sora's Heartless has been eating and gaining the powers of all the corruption in the Data Heartless that have been defeated by Data Sora. So there's a final battle between Data Sora and his Heartless, who he finds attacking Maleficent and Pete, and Data Sora stepping in allows them to escape and prevent them from being deleted with the data. And when it looks like Data Sora is about to lose, Mickey jumps back in from the real world and helps Data Sora defeat his Data Heartless. The Data Sora Heartless. However, this still did not seem to exactly return the journal to normal. While the data is no longer corrupted, the journal entries have not returned. And Data Riku, being free from the reset, manages to contact Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, telling them, hey, I know you guys are back in the real world and everything, But there's another complication. The information has not returned to the pages in the journal. We have not completely solved what's going on here. And so Mickey offers to be drawn into the journal once again, where he snatches Sora, or Data Sora, from Traverse Town just after he had gotten his powers, or gained control of the Keyblade and everything, and tells him, hey, we need you to help us. You may not remember who I am, but you can feel it that we are friends. And Data Sora's like, yeah, I can feel that, even though I don't remember you. And Mickey's like, great, there's some place we need to go. So, they go to my least favorite place again, Castle Oblivion. And this is where stuff actually starts to happen that really makes sense. Or really kind of plays into new stuff that's going on. So, Pete and Maleficent travel back to the real world, and Maleficent brings up the Book of Prophecies. And how it has the power to create new worlds with new powers and everything. And that maybe perhaps some way they can find a way to connect the journal to the Book of Prophecies and find their way to it from there. So Mickey gets separated from Data Sora as soon as Data Sora reaches Castle Oblivion. As there, he is given a card by a cloaked figure who he believes is Riku. However, this figure is actually Data Roxas, who leads Data Sora deep into Castle Oblivion, telling him about the pain and the hurt, and that collecting it like that and continuing to go deeper into Castle Oblivion will eventually cause his heart to give in to darkness because of all the hurt. The hurt of forgetting everyone. And Sora powers through it, deciding this hurt is there not because I may have forgotten what was going on, but not because I've forgotten the people I've been with, just their names. But at some point, Data Sora starts to kind of lose faith in what he's doing. And that's when Mickey is actually able to contact Data Sora again, telling him, hey, I know I'm trying to get to you. I'll be able to get to you soon. But all I'm able to do at the moment is project my voice to you. And Data Sora tells Mickey his problem, that he's worried that going through all this hurt will eventually cause his heart to fall into darkness. And that it's not worth it, and that he should probably just turn back. And Mickey tells him, it's not that you've forgotten everyone. You have to decide whether these people are important enough, and these memories are important enough, that you take the pain that comes with it to show you how important these people are to you. And are these people important enough to remember in such a way and accept the hurt of forgetting who they are? And he's able to project an image of Donald and Goofy there for Sora. And they talk to him from outside the datascape, saying, we have been on adventures together, and you are very important to us. We're your friends. We care about you, and you cared about us. And that's about all Mickey's able to get through to Data Sora. At least the gist of it, anyway. But, Data Sora acknowledges that and continues forward. And once again, he travels to all the different places he traveled to in the datascape, meeting the people he's met there, and then forgetting them shortly after. even though he doesn't really remember them because that technically never happened and that memory was erased. But somehow those memories still sort of exist in the journal, even though they weren't part of the original journal, and complicated stuff. This is a very complicated game. But, so coming out the other end, Roxas, or Data Roxas rather, is taunting Data Sora about how the pain is getting worse and worse in him, and that eventually that his heart will soon turn to darkness. And despite the warnings, he has continued on through Castle Oblivion. And Sora tells Roxas that he has decided to stay with the pain and even accept the darkness should it come with the pain, because one day he will put it aside once his memories return. But for now, that pain helps him realize how important it's there to connect him to all those lost memories. And that even though it hurts, it's worth the pain. And as he starts to walk past Data Roxas turns on him, summoning the two Keyblades, Oblivion and Oathkeeper. And so, a fight ensues between Data Roxas and Data Sora, eventually with Data Sora defeating Data Roxas. And Data Roxas chortles Data Sora on to defeat him. And Data Sora refuses, and Data Roxas is like, oh, so you've seen through my disguise. You know I'm nothing more than unimportant data. I never should have existed in the first place. And Data Sora's like, no, it's because in our fight, you did teach me about hurt. But a different kind of hurt from what I'm feeling. But familiar. Like, it's my hurt too. And Data Roxas responds with the, well, I guess you finally understand what hurt is. You've mastered it. So I guess that means it's time for me to go. I was only here to teach you hurt and how to get through it. And when Data Sora asked if Data Roxas was going home, Data Roxas replies with, I don't have a home, but there's some place I want to be. He then walks into Data Sora and combines with him. And so with only one room left, Mickey shows up. And together, him and Data Sora use the last card to find the truth, which leads them to Naminé. Well, Data Naminé. And Data Naminé says it was her who created the bugs, because when she had pieced together Sora's memories, she had found everyone else's memories that were tied to Sora. And she thought this was a mistake because other people's memories shouldn't exist inside of someone else. So she had left them out. But doing research on it, she found that she had made a mistake and that those memories did, for some reason, belong in Sora's heart as well. And so this was kind of her way of trying to get them into the journal so that she could give those memories back to Sora. At least to Data Sora and Mickey. So that the real Sora would one day get these memories. And so she hands the memories off to Data Sora, who takes them along with Mickey, not Data. I almost called him Data Mickey, but it's real Mickey. And it restores memories of Axel, Roxas, Naminé, and Shion. Even though Sora cannot recognize Shion, or really any of them, he still feels that familiarity with them. Even though they aren't his memories. But then, also deeper in there are 3 other people that he is connected to through memories that he doesn't remember he had, and those are memories of the 3 Keyblade wielders from Birth by Sleep: Aqua, Terra, and Ventus. And while they do not know the extent to what his memories are connected to them, and especially having only met 2 of them and not all 3, but one day those memories would become clear and why they are connected the way they are. And then Data Naminé tells Data, Sora, and Mickey that it's time for her to go. She was only there to pass on a message, and that the corruption she had put in the journal would now vanish. That she'd only put them through all the hurt that she did with the corrupted data and bugs and everything, was so that Sora could handle the hurt that came with the memories that she was giving back to him. And so Mickey returns to the real world, where he writes a letter to Sora, Kairi, and Riku about those 3 and the lost memories of Sora they had found in the datascape. And that is the message he sent, so it goes back to Kingdom Hearts 2, the end, where it shows Kairi running with the bottle to Riku and Sora to read the letter, with Mickey explaining to them what had happened in the datascape and about these lost memories, and that it was time to restore them. So there's 2 secret endings to this as well. First one is Mickey going to Yin Sid, who tells Mickey to send Riku and Sora to him. It is time for them to take their Mark of Mastery test, to show them the Mark of Mastery that Aqua and Terra had to go through all those years before. Because Xehanort, now with both his Heartless and his Nobody gone, so his heart is free and his body is free, he can be resurrected. And then the second secret ending is the assistants and everything, the old apprentices of Ansem, essentially dead on the floor where they gave up their living forms to the darkness, so that they could eventually, making them nobodies and heartless, with Zigbar standing over them. And a new figure who seems to be Xehanort's apprentice in a way, talking about how he was going to inherit Xehanort's Keyblade, which is a very special Keyblade passed down, that he would soon receive it himself. Though what really happened here is still kind of a toss-up for me at the moment. It does raise quite a few questions that need to be answered, which are not answered in this game. Anyway, that is it for Phoenix Firestar's Kingdom Hearts RECoded talk-through. I'll see you all next time on Phoenix Firestar Plays Dream Drop Distance, because that's coming up next.